Hi, welcome back to Craft Storytime in the Huntington Beach Public Library. My name is Miss Maribel and I hope you're doing well. My friends, what do you think is our theme for this week? Any ideas? If you guessed pumpkin, you're right. Our theme for this week is pumpkins. Our first story is called The Great Pumpkin Contest, and it was written by Angie Roselar. The leaves were beginning to change color. The air had become brighter and colder, and with the change in seasons from summer to fall, it was time for Cat County's Great Pumpkin Contest. In this little county lived two cats, as different as can be. Mimi spent her days inside reading stories about cats who were bold, smart, and loved. Sometimes she wished she had a friend. Clara preferred to be outside, tending her garden and having tea parties. Both wanted to win the first prize ribbon in the Great Pumpkin Contest. Earlier that summer, Mimi had read all the books. She had formed a plan. She found the sunniest spot in her garden, made sure it was far away from the wind, added just the right plant foods, and then dug tiny holes and planted her pumpkin seeds. She waited and waited and waited some more until one day a tiny sprout had appeared. Soon there were vines and flowers. Next door, Clara had happily planted her pumpkin seeds all over her garden. Before long, her pumpkin patch was filled with lots and lots of little pumpkins. Clara peeked at Mimi's pumpkin patch. There was one pumpkin that was getting very big and brown. "Wow," said Clara, "your pumpkin looks amazing. How did you make it grow so big?" "I read lots of books," said Mimi. "Very smart," said Clara. She went back to tend her crop of little pumpkins. Mimi's pumpkin continued to grow and grow and grow. That is one big pumpkin. Claire's pumpkins grew too. Just not that big, I don't think. Look at them. Soon it was time for the Great Pumpkin Contest. But how was Mimi going to get her enormous pumpkin to the fair? She tried to push it and pull it, but it was no use. The pumpkin was too big. If only there was another way. Ta-da! A wheelbarrow. It was perfect. Mimi rolled her gigantic pumpkin onto the cart and set off for the fairground. She couldn't wait for everyone to admire her very big pumpkin. Clara stacked up some of her beautiful little pumpkins and headed to the fair too. She was also very proud. The road into town was bumpy. The pumpkin wiggled and jiggled. Soon Mimi's great pumpkin began to tip and teetered and tottered. "Look out for that pothole, Mimi!" "Oh no!" Her pumpkin rolled right out of that rickety cart with an enormous thump, splat, kaplooey. The whole town was covered in Mimi's giant gloopy shloopy pumpkin. Mimi was horrified and she ran back home and hid. Everybody looks upset. Poor Mimi, she must have been super embarrassed, right? There were pumpkin guts everywhere. Who will ever want to be my friend now? Later that day, Mimi heard a knock on her door. It was Clara. "I brought you a pumpkin. He next year you could show me your pumpkin growing secret, she said. Mimi slowly smiled. Yes, I would like that. Mimi sat and stared at Clara's pumpkin, and soon she formed a new plan. The next day, Mimi went down to the fair. She had a surprise for Clara. A first prize pumpkin they could enjoy together as friends. Yay! The end. Yay! All right. Our next story is called The Ugly Pumpkin, and it was written by Dave Horowitz. I am the ugly pumpkin, as you can plainly see. Of 100,000 pumpkins, none are quite like me. Since early in October, I've been waiting to get picked, but each time things start to look up, I end up getting tricked. Aww. A skeleton came for pumpkins one bright and crispy day. I asked if I could get a ride. He laughed and said, "Ha, no way." And when I said, "It's getting late and I don't have a home," he rolled his eyes and said goodbye and left me all alone. So I walked into November, where I happened on some trees. I asked if I could stay a while, and this time I said, "Please." The trees all started smiling, and then one finally spoke. "Take off your boots and spread your roots." Another cruel joke. "I am the ugly pumpkin," I shouted to the sky. And then it started raining, so I began to cry. I took shelter in a garden that was overrun with squash. I noticed something very odd, and then I thought, oh my gosh! I'm a squash! He thought he was a pumpkin, but he's actually a squash. At last it was Thanksgiving, and I found where I fit in. So now you know my story, so let the feast begin. Happy Thanksgiving! The end. Yay! All right, my friends, we have our last story. It's called Pip Pick a Pumpkin, and it was written by Patricia Tott. Pick a pumpkin from the patch. Tall and lean, or short and fat, vivid orange, ghostly white, or speckled green might just be right. Pumpkin snugly in your arms, wheel a wagon through the farm, stop for mugs of spicy punch, toffee apple, sweet to crunch. Homeward from the pumpkin patch, all your goodies stacked in back. Now, brush or wipe your pumpkin clean, rub it smooth and make it gleam. Find the perfect carving space, lined with paper just in case you make a mess. Next, other things you need: a bowl, a spoon for scooping seeds, a tool to trace, a spooky face, and plastic saws for cutting shapes. Then invite around a friend or two, form a pumpkin carving crew. Let grown-ups cut the tops a bit, enough for hands to fit. Reach down deep into the hole, grab the seeds and give a pull. Lumpy chunks, sticky strings, clumpy seeds, guts and things. With a spoon, scrape sides neatly, clean the insides out completely. Now all together. Carve the eyes, giant circles of surprise, small slits sleeping, one eye peeping, cross-eyed crazy, angry lazy, and below those make a noose, a triangle, a pinprick, a nose that growls from thin to thick, a nose that grows from thin to thick, under the nose. Is where the mouth goes. A kiss, a frown, a toothy grin, a zigzag gap, cut long and thin, a smirk, a snarl, an eerie oh, a pointy fang, or pointy fangs all in a row. But wait! Before you light your new creations, first it's time for decorations. Cobwebs strung from post to post, rings of gauzy dancing ghosts, spiders, tombstones, dangling bats, skeletons, and witches' hats. Now quick, slip on your gear to trick or treat and grab a sack to hold your sweets. Lift your pumpkin up with pride, march to a place outside, set it safely on the ground, and call the crew to gather around. Ask someone to strike a match. Watch, the candle wicks will catch. See it glow outside your door. Look, it's not a pumpkin anymore. It's a, what do you guys think? Let's see. Jack-o'-lantern. Its red hot eyes will glaze and flicker. Its fiery grin will blaze and snicker to guard your house while you have fun. Happy Halloween, everyone! Yay! All right, my friends, good job. Now, are you ready for our craft? All right, let's go. Hey guys, so for this craft we're going to be making a pumpkin collage, and what I have to work with is tissue paper, buttons, pom-poms, and some rhinestones. You'll also need this pumpkin template, and I will put the link in the description of the Google folder where you can download it. You can just about use anything else too for supplies for collaging, like colored rice, pasta, sequins, even newspaper, construction paper torn into bits. Anything that you have around the house will probably work, you know, yarn or so. So don't worry if you don't have these things I have. You can use a bunch of other stuff for collaging as well. So don't worry. Use what you have and don't stress it, and just have fun. I think that's the more important thing here, is for the kids to have fun. So let's go ahead and continue. You'll also need scissors and glue stick. So the first thing I'm going to do for the collage is, since I'm making my pumpkin orange, traditional orange, I'm using orange things like tissue paper, buttons, rhinestones, and pom-poms to decorate it. The first thing I'm going to do is lay down my orange tissue paper to cover, and then the green tissue paper here on the stem. So I'm going to put the glue on the paper, not on the tissue paper, because if I put the glue on the tissue paper to stick onto my pumpkin, it's going to crumple and get all like gooey, and it's going to just stick all over your hands. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to speed through this because it might take a little bit. If you need to pause to catch up, go ahead and then hit play when you're ready to move on to the next step. So let's go ahead and do that first. We're going to put glue all over our pumpkin and then use the tissue papers to collage on the surface. And we'll do the same with the stem and the green tissue paper.
do is we're gonna cut out our pumpkin following the line that hopefully you should still be able to see right here on your pumpkin. So let's go ahead and let's cut this out. Once we have it cut out, then we'll add our rest of, we'll glue on the rest of our collage material. So let's go ahead and cut that. Now we're gonna grab our different materials and we're gonna glue those on. I think I'll start with some pom-poms first. And I want to put the glue directly onto the pom-pom, not the pumpkin, otherwise it won't stick. So make sure you got a nice thick layer of glue on that pom-pom, and then we're gonna stick it on and put lots of pressure. That way it'll stick on there really good. And I'll do another one. And so you don't have to worry about if your tissue paper overlaps on your outline like mine did, because when you cut it, all that overlapping tissue will fall off. So you don't have to worry if you cross the lines on your pumpkin. So I'll go ahead and do another one. Put it right here over on the lighter spots of the pumpkin so it's a little bit more visible. I'll do another one, and like I said, you can use whatever you have around the house to do this. Just about anything will work. I think I'll do one more. Make sure it has a nice thick layer. I think I'll put it right here. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and do some buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and put my buttons on there. Put some glue. There we go. Do our next button. Do that right here. Do our next button. And then so on and so forth. Just keep gluing whatever you want to glue on there for your kids, depending on what they want to do or the aesthetic that they're going for. They can do it however. I think I'll put one more button on there. And then I think I'll put this one right here. Let's do one more. I'm going to put it right here. Alright. So then lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put rhinestones. I have these little giant rhinestones, and I think I'm just going to set those in my spots that I have some room left. So I'm going to go ahead and just set them down where I want them. Mine are adhesive, so I don't have to put glue on them. They're like stickers. They have a little thing on the back that I just peel, and it'll stick on there. So I'll just go ahead and take the backing off, and then I'll just kind of set them around wherever there's a little bit more space available. And then I'll use my little oval one to throw that on there. I think that's how I want to leave it actually. I'm trying to figure out if I want to put any more anywhere. But I think I just want to leave it like that. Alright guys, so here is our pumpkin collage. I use pom-poms, buttons, and rhinestones. You could use a bigger, smaller of anything that's on here. Like I said, anything will work. You could probably even use, I've had packages come in with that little wrinkled cardboard. You could also like color that, paint that little crinkled packing cardboard and put that on there as well. It's up to you how you guys want to do it and how you want it to look. Here's my pumpkin, and I hope you guys enjoyed this craft. If you did, give this video a like, a thumbs up, Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Remember that every craft story time comes out on a weekly basis on Saturdays at 2 p.m. All right, friends, take care. See you next time. Bye.